I'm a citizen who just wanted to participate in the
yes or no?
democratic
Do you
process.
think
The
it's
answer
poor
is no.
judgment to cut checks to senators who are voting on your nomination while it's pending? No other nominee that we can find has ever done that. Do you think it was poor judgment?
Relatively small donations, no, I don't.
It was over $1,000, $32,000 over your life.
Well, that's over my life,
Well, over $1,000 while your nomination was pending. All right.
but not to one person. Most.
Oh,
of the,
no, no, there were
most of
to
the
a dozen senators, to a dozen different senators, including senators who've been critical of your nomination and senators who have not. You managed to cover the water board of Democrats running for office. I've been in the Senate 10 years. I have never seen a nominee make contributions to senators while your nomination is pending. I've never seen that once.
Ted Cruz wasn't interested in her resume. He was interested in her talking points. He wanted to know one thing here. Why was she in support of a group that was openly calling senators corrupt? And that's when the hearing immediately took a different turn here, guys.
Senator, I don't agree that I misled this committee, so I would like to make that.
The record is, I believe, abundantly clear. And in fact, I will be sending out my cross-examination from the last hearing, where you repeatedly mislead this committee in that hearing. And in fact, we'll go ahead and actually put this up. I'll note, I asked, did you disclose to the committee that agreement? I did. Did you disclose the agreement to the committee? I did. Hold on a second. Did you disclose to this committee? Yes or no? I did. You disclosed the $700,000 secret settlement? No. So 3 times you say I did, and then, oh, no. You did not. You misled this committee, and you also misled the White House. Let me ask you secondly. The 15 months that your nomination has been pending, you've made not 1, not 2, not 3, you've made 12 separate political contributions to senators running for office. I've been in the Senate 10 years. I have never seen a nominee make contributions to senators while your nomination is pending. I've never seen that once. I had my staff search the records. If we could find anyone in the Trump administration who had done that, my staff was unable to find that.
Yeah, guys, this is the overall glaring contradiction that generally kind of proliferates in Washington, D.C. here. All right, you have a bunch of people who are standing on their ideals here. Anything that has the ability to push against my ideals is basically wrong, but do not watch me do it. But understand, when I do this, it's okay and it's just and moral and ethically correct here, but when you do it, it's wrong. These are the glaring contradictions that persist massively in Washington, D.C., and this is generally why the people have a gigantic mistrust for big government.
You've been a significant political donor over the years, giving over $32,000. You gave. Do you believe it was poor judgment to give 12 separate political contributions to Democrat senators while your nomination was pending?
Senator, I'm a citizen who just wanted to participate in the
yes or no?
democratic
Do you
process.
think
The
it's poor
answer is no.
judgment to cut checks to senators who are voting on your nomination while it's pending? No other nominee that we can find has ever done that. Do you think it was poor judgment?
Relatively small donations, no, I don't.
It was over $1,000, $32,000 over your life.
Well, that's over my life,
Well, over $1,000 while your nomination was pending. All right.
but not to one person. Most.
Oh,
of
no, no.
most
There
of
were
the
to a dozen senators, to a dozen different senators, including senators who've been critical of your nomination and senators who have not. You managed to cover the water board of Democrats running for office. All right, let's turn to another issue, which is you have been an active supporter of a left-wing activist group called Fight for the Future. And I will say the record of Fight for the Future is really quite remarkable because they have blasted members of this committee on both sides of the aisle. Here's a billboard Fight for the Future put up in West Virginia in 2017 attacking Senator Joe Manchin, a Democrat. The billboard essentially accuses Joe Manchin of being corrupt. Ms. Sohn, do you believe Joe Manchin is corrupt?
Absolutely not.
You don't? Okay, well, that's interesting. I will point out, in 2017, Fight for the Future also erected similar billboards accusing Senator Tester and Senator Peters of being corrupt, both of whom are members of this committee. I can't recall a nominee who's actively supported efforts to blast members of this committee to run billboards.
Senator, may I address that, please?
You may.
Please.
When you say actively, I give every single organization with whom I work on net neutrality $100 contributions at the end of the year.
Ms. Sohn, with
Doesn't mean I agree with their
respect,
tactics.
the time is limited, and yes, it does, because after they put up the billboards attacking Manchin, Tester, and Peters as corrupt, afterwards, you sent this tweet. Just made my end-of-year donation to this organization. urging others to do it after they did that. And because the time is limited, I'll note this group also blasted Marsha Blackburn, Dan Sullivan, and Roger Wicker, and astonishingly called for Chairwoman Cantwell to be fired. And after each of those, to be removed from as chairwoman of this committee, after each of those, you supported it. And in fact, I want to turn to the final point, the Roger Wicker one, where this group protested and said, you're buying a senator, and you said you don't support their tactics. I'm going to point out, you tweeted, well done, to this radical group who blasted the former ranking member of this committee and saying that his donors were trying to buy a senator. If they were trying to buy a senator, were you trying to buy senators when you made a dozen contributions?
Senator, I did not know, number one, that was about Senator Wicker. Number two, I was criticizing
it
Senator
Roger Wicker right there.
Okay, well,
that is literally what you retweeted was his name.
That's fine, but I was actually criticizing the donors and not criticizing the senator.
I guess the only question here is how much of that do you actually believe here? I'm going to be honest here. Like, if you are running for a position of power, okay, and then you start donating to the people that have the ability to basically kind of put you in power, that looks pretty, suspicious. You can call it whatever you want to call it here. This is what I normally do here, but you have to understand how it looks to the overwhelming majority of people that are on the outside looking in here. It looks like you are trying to buy your way into power. But then if you are openly in support of groups that are consistently targeting other senators, guys, this is what the left does, bro. This is why I think so many people have like an active issue with kind of how the left moves these days here, right? I mean, you say one thing, all right, and then immediately, in all actuality, in your own personal real life, you're doing the exact opposite, generally doing things that would probably most likely lean right within your real active life here, but publicly and out loud, you're just espousing whatever is basically popular on TikTok or within like Gen Z, Gen X culture, guys. That's it. Let's just be completely, honest with it. That's kind of what you're doing, bro, right? So it's kind of hard to kind of jump on team lefty in 2026 here, guys, because what do they actually mean? Who actually are they? Because what they say versus what they do generally are consistently in opposition to each other. And it's weird, right? But guys, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. We'll jump into the next one when it pops up, guys. All right. Which will be tomorrow. Check out one of these videos here. I think YouTube thinks that you would probably like this one right here more than this one right here, but they're both probably going to be great for you because they're both targeted towards you. All right. Listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. And in the meantime, guys, I'll go ahead and catch you guys later.